Clive, my boy! Rutherford informs me that we owe you our thanks. Hadn't intended for you to...
I would have done the same for anyone else.
You're far too modest, Clive. You'd make a terrible nobleman. But tell me, is the realm truly in as dire a state as Rutherford suggests?
From what little I saw, you were right to be worried.
I suppose I should, but I was rather hoping the great and good of the realm might have things a little more under control. Alas, it seems that firm leadership is in short supply these days, and without it, the people are bound to lose their way. We must move quickly.
But where do we start?
True, the challenges that face us are many, but in the realm's armies and her larders. As you've seen firsthand, it's every man and woman for themselves out there. Certain cities have banded together to try and maintain some semblance of order, yes? And yet, the only remedy for the chaos that faces us is unity. In short, if storm...
But how would one even begin to...
The armies, my boy. As I told you already, we begin by restoring order among the rank... Sadly, I doubt I could convince even the lowliest gaggle of privates to dig a little, but I do know someone the high commanders have been known to listen to on occasion. Field Marshal Eugen Havel.
I thought he was retired.
He was, until an Akashic army tore through Randalar and killed most of the rank and file. There is, and as luck would have it, I've already...
Of course you have.
And he's agreed to help. On one condition, Havel has always been a man of frustratingly rigid principle. And he has... I extolled your many virtues as best I could, of course, but the old goat was adamant that he be allowed to appraise you in person. You don't mind, do you, my boy?
Of course not. As long as chaos reigns, we will never build a better world. I'll do whatever it takes. And if the Field Marshal wishes to speak with me in person, then so be it.
That's the spirit.
I'll leave for Randalar at once. Would you send a Stolas?
Of course. Rutherford is already in the Dalmekian capital. I'll have him tell...
Excellent.
No, thank...
Ah, Clive.
Joshua, what's wrong?
I've received word from Cyril. The Undying have found Father's will.
His will? How and where?
In the crypt, beneath Rosalith Castle. After Kupka was kind enough to drive out the Imperials, the Undying took the opportunity to recover what relics of the Duchy, and in the process of doing so, they've...
I'm surprised anything survived down there.
Cyril asked that I join him in Tabor at my convenience. I have been meaning to go.
Of course. I want to know what's in that letter as much as you...
Very well.
Sid, do you have a moment?
By all means.
It's my old master. Seems there's no escaping her. She found someone and something else. Records from a Waluda prison.
How did she come by such a thing?
Finding bearers always was her strong point. And it seems the cells of Balmung Dark are full of them. Foreign captives, the masterless. And even better for her, bearers with no one to look after them. When ether started lapping...
Leaving the bearers to be liberated by whoever happened to come along next.
Sid, I'd like to believe that I've earned your trust by now. And while I'm well aware that you've forbidden Cursebreakers from I can't let those bearers die in their cells. I'd rather risk shipwreck on the Shadow Coast than leave them to starve.
We'll be needing the Enterprise if we're going to navigate the Narrow.
Does that mean...
I'm making an exception, and we stay no longer than we have to. Ash is an inhospitable place at the best.
Thank you, Sid. Chadwick. Another of my former master's protégés. A gifted soldier, and the closest thing I had to family. The thought of him held captive in that place.
He must be very important to you.
He was. Is.
Then we find him.
The entrance to the prison lies in the shadow of Ravenwit Walls, just beyond the portcullis. We should head there as quickly as we can. I only pray there are still bearers alive to save.
As do I, Doris.
Sid, I was wondering if you could help me.
It depends what with.
A bearer, but recently freed from his bond. As you know, the work we do is not easy, which is why we test every volunteer's suitability.
I don't mind, but why this one?
Because he wants to be a scout. Our ranks are filled with men and women capable of breaking chains, but scouting, we're few with the nose for that, which is why we still rely. And since he accompanies you on so many of your missions, I thought you might be better placed to recognize the
Sounds reasonable.
So you're happy to oversee the boys' test, then?
One can never have too many scouts.
Truer words, Sid. I'll let the initiate know that you'll be attending his trial, and that he is to proceed directly to Northreach in readiness.
No time like the present, eh?
No time like the present. I'll await you there.
Northreach. I don't suppose they could have chosen somewhere closer.
What do you think happened?
Sid, you have to help us.
With what? You didn't take...
No.
It's Miss Mididol. She's very strange.
When she is, she acts like we aren't even there.
In the clouds.
That's what I said. In the clouds.
Well, she does have a lot on her mind. When did you last see her?
Not long ago. Ah, right up.
Then it's probably just about the Enterprise.
You didn't break it, did you, Sid? You really should be more careful around... Don't listen to her. Even if you did break the Enterprise...
But who's gonna put Miss Mididol back together? She seems really sad.
Why don't I go and see if I can cheer her up?
You do that? For us? She's in her dungeon.
Don't scare him. It's not a real dungeon.
Thanks for the warning.
I will not let them be forgotten. Sid,
Of course.
it is an honor to finally speak with you. My name is Herman. I've been with the Cursebreak. I wish to be deployed to Ash.
No. The land... I will not send good men and women to risk their lives. Why would you want to go back?
I need to retrieve something. I was raised, or rather, I was held. It was not a place of nurture. It existed solely to... We were tortured until we feared no pain, and few ever survived long enough to be...
I can't imagine.
I lost so many. But they must be remembered. They cannot fade away. The Institute was run with military precision. Sid.
You were a good friend, but the fact remains that Ash is simply too dangerous.
Sid, please.
Too dangerous for you, Herman. I'll go to Bad Bach and find the registry.
You will?
I won't let you risk your life.
I don't know.
You can start by telling me where I'll find this.
Vida Grace.
All right.
May the Mother's God.
Do you suppose it's magic keeping the thing afloat?
What else could it be?
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen herself.
First the skies, then the crystal.
Something tells me this is no mere advent. What is it? Pining for something, boy. What is it? What do you see out there? I never did ask where you got that anklet of yours.
From Sid, that's why. On the day he brought him home.
That long ago?
And you're only thinking to ask this now? Sid saw that the pup had a habit of gnawing on his leg, since you ask. Clap that there iron on him to keep him from...
What was wrong, boy?
I'll take like as not. Must have been hard on the poor doubly hard in being a frost wolf. Torn away from it. Sid would always tell him, you want that iron gone? You find what it is. I reckon what he were looking for was you.
I'm sorry, Torgal. Sorry for making you wait so... Let's get that thing off you. Indeed. You miss Sid as much as the rest of us, don't you? You want me to go with you somewhere?
Quick, can't you? Glad you've been...
Not nearly as much as you have.
Aye, good thing and all. It's not like Gav would have kept him in nut.
Your kindness is appreciated.
Only because he doesn't talk back like the rest of you.
Where to then, Torgal?
Say what you will, Lady Karen has seen herself.
All right, Torgal. I'm I'm going to need a little bit more than that, but... Do you have a better hint for me? Unless... You've already given me one. Why don't we try the rookery? I haven't been to the... To Port Isolde, then. Fingers crossed the old mooring is still there. Vivian, and I'd be happy to help you find the book you're looking for.
Thank you, Clive. But tracking it down will not be easy.
Please. You have always granted me your... It's only right that I return the favor.
You are too kind. Alas, what I ask of you is... I spoke with Harpocrates to see if he had any inkling as to where another copy might be found. But perhaps it is best that you hid...
If you say so.
Forgive me, Clive, but this book... It set me on the path to becoming who I...
Has Midadol mentioned a new project yet?
Mid, if you have a...
That's it! I knew it! The answer was right here under my arse all along! If this doesn't steer to the skies, nothing will!
To the skies? You aren't trying to give the Enterprise wings, are you?
What else would I be doing?
The children seem to think you're avoiding them. Is this really so important that you need to shut yourself...
The Enterprise is already the fastest ship in the realm. And that's with this... But what if she weren't bound to the waves? What if she weren't bound to... It's not fair. The gods get the skies all to themselves, so... I'm gonna do something. The Fallen had their chance. But they relied too much on magic. And see what... But not me. I've discovered how to do it with... Well, almost. First I need to make...
And is that a one-woman job?
Are you volunteering? I'll have you... But if a godfather's offering to lend a hand... First I'll need oil. And not just some old drippings from Miss Molly's spits in the Tub and Crown. Refined stuff, like they make in Ordil. Then I'll need some bone, or shell. Light, strong, preferably no longer attached to the...
If it's beast bones you're after, I'm sure the curse breaker...
No, they'll know where you might find some. You're the one who offered...
I should speak with one of the curse breakers before I set off for Old Hill. See if I can't find this bone while I'm there as well.
All right, Sid. Come to buy us a...
Only if you earn it. Mid needs a piece of light but durable bone for her next project. You've encountered your ship.
Most bones are the same. Whack. If it's durability you're looking for, shell will serve you.
I do. And I know to give... Will any old adamantus do?
Well, with shells, the older the harder. There's a rumour of an ancient, but don't expect to make quick work of the bastard. There's a reason it's lived as long as it has.
I'll keep that in mind. Thank you.
Fancy a look at the list, do you? Here you go. Always something, isn't there?
Clive, my boy.
Hippocrates. I've been charged with locating a book called...
Then you seek a rare gem, one whose name I had not thought. You've been to...
Right as always. But she didn't seem keen to tell me very much.
And yet I gather it did naught to dissuade. Clive, if the young professor... I fear she asks the impossible.
The executors.
Coveters of secret, a clandestine organization committed to the collection one such text, being the tome Vivian seeks, chronicling as it does the true history of the enslavement of bearers, a tale which could overturn the established order were it ever to become widely known. Or, so rumor has it.
How is it that I haven't heard of this organization?
Why? They lurk in the shadows, emerging only to seize that which must be seized.
Which would explain why Vivian's copy was snatched from her.
By the hand of the executors.
But what drives them?
Fine question. Sadly, all that is... You may just as soon ask me of their origins, numbers, or the identity.
And my hunt was doomed from the first. What was Vivian expecting?
Not from thin air, no. From ash. Rumors of the executors are rife, but rather less so across the strait. I have a friend, well, I had a friend in the village of Garnick, a collector of rare tomes. Alas, I have heard naught from him since the skies fell dark, but though he did not mention it by name, it is possible that if you were, by some chance, able to save even a single...
Very well. I'll be sure to pay Garnick a visit.
Good morrow to you, my friend. I don't believe you've read this particular chapter before. What subject shall we consider today?
It's still here. A lot smaller than I remember. And you're a lot bigger. You might have to swim, boy.
You two go on without me. I doubt that boat will hold a third.
If you're sure. We won't be long. Hop in, boy. This place hasn't changed at all. The rookery's right through those trees. Come on. Race you there? I bet I could still beat you. Here we are. This was our hideaway. Wasn't it, Torgal? Coming here helped me to forget who I was. Or wasn't. Prince, shield. Son his mother could love. Had I been any one of those things? Perhaps. What is it, boy? This is all from the castle. And Phoenix Gate. Did you bring these here? My sparring sword. Well, well. You never stopped looking for me, did you, boy? Thank you, Torgal, for never giving up, for never forgetting. Let's take this with us, shall we? So I don't forget either. That's not the way back to the boat, Torgal. All right, all right. I think I know where we're going. People always talk about the importance of putting the past behind you, but without it, and we certainly couldn't steer our way to a better tomorrow. Come on, Torgal. It's well. After what happened here, it's a miracle there was any left at all.
Have care.
This should be enough. Here we are again. Carava. If you were a tortoise, Torgal, where would you hide? It looks like we found him. I better get these materials to Mid so she can finish her prototype.
Your Grace, my lord, I trust your journey was not overly onerous.
Cyril, you found a letter from Father?
Yes. If you would do us the honor, my...
An inheritance.
It would seem the late Archduke penned this missive shortly before his passing.
The day before we left for Phoenix Gate.
What are these plans?
His plans for the duchy, Your Grace. Your father entrusted them to my predecessor, the former bearer, the complete emancipation. But your father's dream did not end there. His Grace also spoke of building hospices to care for those stricken by the curse, and the founding of a new university to further the development of non-magical tech, with the blight spreading ever more widely across the twins. Archduke Elwyn saw this as the only means of securing Rosaria's...
He wished to see men and bearers treated as equals. It's small wonder he did not think it achievable.
But he thought it achievable nonetheless. Had he not, nor would he have entrusted his vision to his most faithful, those who would have stood with you, shielded you from the machinations of...
It's a pity only they are...
'Tis true that those most loyal to your father were the first to suffer the Duchess's wrath, but one at least remains.
What do you mean?
Mayhap it is better that she, after all, the duties entrusted to me by my predecessor, extended...
And where is this woman?
She awaits you in the archive, Your Grace.
Thank you, Cyril. Shall we then?
My lord. I am Goditha, retainer of House Rosfield, loyal servant. Your father, the Archduke Elwyn, entrusted me with the delivery of a...
Lift up your head, Lady Goditha. You have our gratitude for your service to our...
I merely did my duty, as any proud Rosarian would.
My lady, what exactly is the gift you...
As I'm sure you know, it has long been the custom for the children of House Rosfield to be presented with certain...
Indeed it has.
And had he lived to see it, he would have presented you with the treasures I bear. Alas, He did not live. He had intended to claim the Heartstone with which each armband was to be, but it was not to be.
I see.
It saddens me to bring them before you. It was your father's wish that you be presented with but with his grace long since gone, and the stone left unclaimed. I had little choice. You are grown men now, and while I would not presume to insist upon your claiming the Heartstone in it, I know that nothing would have pleased him more.
Thank you, Lady Goddard.
What say you, Clive?
What else? Of course, my lady.
Oh, I am much obliged.
Do you know where we might find this heart?
I do. Though it may be a matter of a good deal more, it is found in the bellies of elder griffins, you see. We do at least know where to find one. A certain specimen.
A certain specimen?
You are most perceptive, Your Grace. In fact, this is the very same beast your father meant to slay. Were you to slay it in his stead, as men of House Rosfield?
What say you, Joshua?
What else? Titan's Wake is to the south. Fear. But we must not be hasty. The good lady has been disappointed once already.
Lord Marquis?
What is it, Cyril?
One of our brethren lately journeyed across the strait in order to pursue a new avenue of inquiry in our ongoing investigation. He sent an owl some while ago, but we have heard no...
Was he surveying another?
No. The object of his study was a savior cult that has arisen in an ancient religion that worshipped Ultima. By gaining an understanding of this new faith, we hoped to learn more of the circle.
And so you sent one of your brothers to Ash? A continent?
Fully cognizant, I entrusted the mission to one of the most able of our order, the third chair. Though he has been silent for some days now, I have thus far... Yet, it seemed only right to inform you of the situation. For as you so earnestly advised me, it would not do...
But Ash is a big place.
Perhaps. The last owl I received, Mickleburg was its name. It lies in the southern reaches of Wood. If aught ill befell him...
Right.
You are much too... Go then, with my hopes. And may the fire...
If this new faith really is an offshoot of the Circle of Malice...
Eyes peeled, Joshua.
There it is.
For House Rosfield. this the hub?
Here to help me pack. Thanks, but I'll be traveling light.
You're really going to go through?
I am. But before I go, there is one...
If it's within my power to...
It's the children. And if I leave them here, they surely will. Our friendship was... I can think of only one place where they are certain to...
Of course.
Thank you, Clive.
Lubor!
What is it, Ferda? You look...
There's been a flood in the Velcroy. A dam. The League of Outlaws encampment was completely submerged.
What?
Every last one of the bastards has...
Bandits are one thing, but Akashic bandits are quite... We need to evacuate. Ferda, gather the men. The Akashic may strike at any moment. We must make ready to cover the towns... Well?
Yes, my lord.
Clive, change of... The children stay with me for now. Tell them to prepare for a full and...
Understood.
I'll do what I can to convince everyone else. You have to listen to me. They're coming.
Why do they always have to make such a...
What do you want?
To pass on an important message. There's been an ether flood. Out in the camp where the so-called League of Outlaws were gathering has been... They're no longer just bandits. They're Akashic now. And they could be... You need to begin preparing for a full-scale...
Oh, do we?
Lubor, perhaps? The man spreading this... You may believe his lies, my lord.
But why would he lie about something like this?
Some twisted attempt. If he had not been unmasked, he may well have been a great honor for one of his... One he might well feel aggrieved at having been...
Lord Underhill, forgive me, but it has...
Lubor cannot be trusted, and...
You may not trust me. But for the sake... If there is any chance that this is true...
There isn't. Now be off with you.
You're making a mistake.
Come, Clive. If our words will not move them, then we must find another way to help save the town.
Right. Let's speak to Lord Ferda.
I think we'd better shut up.
What's Lubor raving about now?
Lord Ferda.
Sid, what's wrong?
I went to warn Conrad and Natalie about the Akashic, but they've convinced themselves that nothing Lubor's a bloody fool, which means the town guard can't be counted, but I can. If there's anything I could, you only have to ask.
I appreciate it.
Sid! Ferda! I've been...
Victor?
I couldn't abandon a friend, and Lubor is in need at this very moment. Come...
You have to believe me! The Akashic are coming! They don't eat, they don't sleep, they don't tire, and they don't care who they kill. They're unlike anything that's come before. There will be no parley, no mercy granted! We may have saved the town once, but this is different. I do not ask that you forgive me, but please believe me. If you do not run, you will die. You will all fucking die!
You'd like that, wouldn't you, bearer?
Yeah, with us out of the way, your kind will be free to claim Dalamil for yourselves.
It's you who should run!
Run, bearer!
Yeah, run!
Run!
Far away!
Run!
Just go!
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes! Go!
Come on, then.
Go on, go!
Just go.
Lubor.
Wait. Someone's coming.
Come on!
Stop! You're hurting him! Ah! Ah! Oh. Oh. Ah. What did Lubor ever do to you? He solves all your stupid problems, and he keeps all of you safe. You know there's nothing he wouldn't do for this town. Who was it who made that cleaver you use every day, Conrad?
And what about your counting table, Natalie? Who fixed that?
Whose men make sure the streets are clean so all your boots don't get dirty?
Who spends all day every day making sure things run smoothly round here? And none of you ever say thank you. Ever.
But did Lubor ever complain? Well, does he ever stop smiling?
He keeps this whole place going. And you act like he doesn't even exist.
Lubor, we've heard enough.
Wait!
We will not run. The town guard will not abandon the very place it is sworn to protect.
And I will not give up for lost the stores that we labored so hard to fill.
So tell us, how do you propose we deal with these Akashic of yours?
We won't run, but we will fight.
All right, then.
Fine. Gather round if you don't want to die.
Allow me to explain this. The ether flood occurred near the village of Cheratina. The place had been abandoned for years, until the League of Outlaws decided to make it their base of operation. Now they're all turned, and if the scouts' reports are correct...
They are mindless monsters, driven only by hate and... With the bandits, we at least knew how and where they were... When these creatures come, Dalamil will have the bit... The town guard will muster at the north gate. The rest of us will take this... Both forces will provide men to serve as scouts and messengers, ready to spread word of the sun. And as soon as it has been, we will converge on its position. Conrad, can I count on the support?
Always.
I leave the selection and coordination of the messengers and the command of our men in yours, Ferda.
Consider it as you wish.
Natalie, I would ask that you and your people have the... And tell the merchant not to waste time securing any... As long as we survive, it doesn't matter what... Our riches can be regained. And if anyone doubts that, let it be known that the...
Very well.
Where do I fit into this plan? Where else but the most... I would like you to travel to the home of our erstwhile League of Out... Main host is most likely still there. And Dalamil will... A little gardening. I doubt it. Luckily, so am I. So you are. All right then, we all... Now it's simply a matter... Looks like everyone's ready. I'd better not keep them waiting. Ready, go? Run like the wind.
Any man sighting an Akashic is to raise the alarm.
There it is. The flood.
But what's waiting for us inside? Can't leave a single one alive.
Let darkness fall! You're finished! This one.
The League is I should get back to Dalamil and see how...
All the Akashic we were able to find. Seems that might be the
last of them here, perhaps.
Lubor, Clive.
Clive!
It's done.
I knew you...
Thank you, my lord.
Friends, the Horde, and we need not fear the victory is...
We bloody... Lubor, after all you have done for this town...
But we did. And we only hope that you can...
We need you, Lubor. So, if you would still like to...
You do remember that I'm...
We do. It is a stain on ours. We thought only of what we perceived bear...
I see. But I will only...
Name them.
Firstly, that you will both do everything in your... If the Town Guard and the Merchants League do not accept my leadership, it will...
Unity is the key to defending Dalimil. And I do not doubt when that time comes, I will expect us all.
Of course.
And second, you will accept that if the mistreatment of bearers must end. Any bearer within our walls shall be afforded. They will not be judged by what they are.
As we failed to do.
We agree to your conditions. And we have only...
Condition accepted. Well then, it seems my mayorship is all but confirmed. How fit. Not so long ago I had resigned myself to leave, and now, here.
Lubo.
Fear not, you are of course relieved. I would sooner face another horde of Akashic than see them brought up as outlaws. I'll make sure they're safe here.
I don't doubt that you will. And not just the children.
I'll do my best. Can't have all your hard work going to waste.
Do you see that too?
Papa?
What is it? Oh, please, just make it stop. I'm scared.
Nothing good's gonna come of this, I'm telling you.
Just looking at it's enough to send the ship.
Good girl. Fly, Ambrosia. Can't be Rutherford, can it?
Turncoats and cowards, the lot of you!
Allow me.
I don't need to... Please, Field Marshal.
This won't take long.
You're right. Men.
Fire and flame!
A little longer than I'd have... Field Marshal Havel, are either of you injured?
No, my lord. You arrived. Fucking traitors. I'd heard report, but I hadn't thought the corruption had reached so close. It's a fucking Your interfering old bastard of an uncle tried to warn me, of course. My lord Marquis, or is Sid the Outlaw more to your...
Call me what you want. It doesn't change who I am, or the urgency of the message I bring. My uncle has a plan to right the realm, and he needs your help to see it through.
Before I agree, I'd have you answer one question. What do you stand to...
I won't deny that I might benefit from further, but I seek a new beginning for all of us. And while the choices I've made may not always have been the right ones, I know I made them for the right reasons. For so long, so many of us have been when it should have been our decision all along. But in order to take it, we must stand together.
Certainly not the words I expected from an outlaw. You are no... Oh, I'll never hear the end of this. All right. I'll start by ordering my most trusted guard to bring the... Next, I'll make contact with my counterparts in the Imperial Army and see if I can't convince them to try and...
Thank you, Field Marshal.
But they are not the only ones we will need.
What do you mean?
I don't doubt that I can bully some sense into a few generals. But those they answer to require a different kind of persuasion. We will need an envoy. One who can court even the most stubborn of...
I'm flattered. And I have other problems to attend to. What we need is a skilled arbitrator.
Is that so? And would he happen to be an outlaw?
Of a different kind, perhaps.
Well, beggars can't be choosers. I suppose we'll all have to find a little of the outlaw in ourselves if we're to make it through this. Very well.
I shall.
My Lord Marquis, your Lord Uncle bade me escort the Field Marshal to his...
And I will see that my associate joins you there.
Very good, my lord.
An envoy. I can barely convince my brother to take his medicine. No. This is a job for someone with experience. Someone like Quentin.
Thank the Griffin is slain.
And the Heartstone.
Yes. This radiant luster, like frozen flame. It is just as your father described it. Thank you, my lord. Your grace. Your father would be so...
Lady Goditha.
Thank you, Cyril. If you would excuse me, I shall have... The armband, pray. Take. Heartstone is harder and more enduring than garnet, or even... And the graven vines encircling the stone
It's a message. Father knew we had enemies who would thwart his vision. Only.
And only if we stood together, as Phoenix and Shield.
Indeed. His grace knew the enormity of the task, but this was more than just it was a promise.
Thank you for remaining the steadfast custodian of our...
Forgive me, my lady, but there is something I don't quite understand. The Undying told me that after Father died, Mother claimed all of the ducal treasures for her own. Even if the armbands were incomplete, she would surely not have overlooked them. So...
Because I was the keeper of the vault. Though I was but a lowly servant of the deep love he had for both of you. and his hopes. In the days before the disaster at Phoenix Gate, I discovered that the Duchess had ordered her jewellery be sent. I tried to warn your father, but it was too late. When word of the fire reached Rosalith, I knew my time was short. So I...
And thank the Founder you did.
Yet my duty to your father was incomplete. Not knowing what else to do, I followed the grift, and so my pursuit continued. Until he informed me that His Grace's will had been recovered.
Lady Goditha, on behalf of my father...
As do I.
Thank you, my lord, for coming back to us.
The bands suit you well. It must be gratifying to finally receive the inheritance.
It is.
If you would permit me to play my part a little longer, might I suggest let him see that you have received his blessing?
I suppose it would be... What do you say, Clive? Should we...
I think we should. I was hoping to be able to offer him my thanks.
Your father's helm is enshrined since the day we recovered it from... I prithee, claim it. For it, too, is a part of... And I do not doubt that your father would prefer it in your hands.
Thank you, Cyril. Come on, Clive. Unwavering will and an unbreakable bond. Do you really think we're strong enough?
To save the world? Of course. To have overcome Father's political enemies? That I'm less certain. Especially knowing what we know now. What Mother was truly capable of. But perhaps these bands would have helped. Knowing he was with us. All the difference.
All yours, Torgal. Farewell.
It's just back there. Father always fought for what he believed was right. It wasn't until that night at Phoenix Gate that I realized I had never fought for anything. I always had someone else to do the fighting for me.
No matter how fate conspired against him, he never lost heart, never looked back, never stopped fighting. To me, He was the greatest of men. I've been trying to live up to his ideals ever since.
We all have, Clive. We all have. And we'll keep trying. Because that's what he would have wanted.
What he would have done himself. Even if it meant standing against the very gods in the heavens.
I shall be borrowing this, Father, if I may. That you might watch over us as we follow in your footsteps.
We won't lay you down.
Onward then.
Onward.
And to a new beginning.